Hello everybody, this is Greg from NetScout, and today we're going to be talking about wireless man-in-the-middle, specifically DNS spoofing and what it means from a wireless hacking standpoint. So what is DNS spoofing? Actually, there are a few different forms of DNS spoofing, one of them being DNS cache poisoning. We're not going to talk about that today just because it's not really relevant to wireless hacking in a sense. So we're going to be really going over DNS spoofing, more specific to Wi-Fi attacks. So in our case, we will be controlling the access point. So a hacker will be creating a software-based access point. So that way they'll be able to control the DNS response packets. Our attack scenario is really a race condition. We're going to be using a couple different tools, and the attacker needs to respond quicker than the DNS server. So a couple different tools we're going to use, one of them being DNS spoof, which is part of the dsniff package by Doug Song. And that's actually what we're going to be using today. There's also EtterCap, and that can actually do a little bit more than just DNS spoofing. But for today, we're going to focus on using the tool DNS spoof. In addition, you can actually run a lot of this stuff on a variety of hardware, including the Wi-Fi Pineapple, the Raspberry Pi, a hardware package called the Odroid, which has become a favorite of mine. But for the demo, we're going to go ahead and run Kali Linux in a virtual machine. All right, so let's get started. So in this case, we're going to go ahead and fire up a virtual machine running Kali Linux 2.0, fully updated. Okay, we're going to go ahead and log in. And so I go ahead and connect a USB Wi-Fi adapter that I have. So we'll go ahead and run that. It's an Atheros. It's a TP-Link. Pretty popular adapter, actually. Okay, so I went ahead and created a script. Now, it's just a simple shell script, nothing fancy. And really what this does is it combines all of my commands into a simple file that I can just run. And let's go ahead and take a quick look at this. Okay. So first thing I'm doing here is really cleaning up any active processes that I might have, checking for any prerequisites. You know, I really want to be able to use MacChanger, dsniff, DNSMask for DHCP. And then I start to be a little interactive, where I'm actually asking the end user, hey, what's the interface, your wireless interface, what's the channel you want to use, what's the SSID, your wired interface, and ultimately what DNS you would like the victim to use. We're going to go ahead and put the adapter into monitor mode and randomize the MAC address. And then from this command here, we're going to be starting the software-based access point. Okay, we create a tunnel interface. We do some IP table manipulation. We create a DHCP server for my clients to use. Okay. And we're going to create a DNS spoof file. So a DNS spoof file will be really just a set of rules to tell, hey, when I see a packet for a domain, what do you want me to do? And so I'm going to go ahead and just do everything. So any domain is going to resolve to my software-based access point. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and fire up this script. Get it started. Actually, the first thing I want to do is really quickly figure out which my adapter is, and so it's going to be a WLAN 0. Okay, so let's go ahead and enter the WLAN 0. It's wireless channel, we can go with 6. Everyone likes free Wi-Fi. Okay, and we're just going to use some random DNS entry, which we can use the typical Google DNS. Okay, and so it's going to now go through and pretty much automate everything by starting our fake access point. Okay, so looks like everything's running. I've got the fake access point running. We went ahead and randomized the MAC address. DNS spoof now is listening on my tunnel interface, so any client that connects and it sees any DNS request packets, it's going to quickly respond with a response packet with a destination of itself, so 10.0.0.1. Okay. So in addition to this, what I'm going to also do is run a tool called set, which is, let me see if I can find it here, Social Engineering Toolkit. Okay. And so the reason why I'm doing this one is just to make the demo a little bit more flashier. What I'm going to do, I'm using set to create or to clone a website so that when my client connects in and I'm spoofing the DNS response packets, I'm actually going to give them a pretty legitimate looking website to do. Okay, so we are going to go ahead and use the social engineering attacks. We're going to do the number 2, the website attack vector. Okay. We're going to do number 3, the credential harvester attack method. Okay, and then number 2, we're going to do a site cloner. All right, so for the IP address, we're going to use 10.0.0.1, which is going to be my fake access point's IP address. And let's go ahead and clone Facebook. Okay, so this tool is going to go out, it's going to clone Facebook, and it's going to dump it into the Apache Apache directory so that when a client connects, that we will give them an actual a website that looks legitimate. Okay, so I think I'm all ready here. Let me go ahead and start up a client. And we will do that right now. So I have another virtual machine running Windows 7. So I'm simulating the client, which is going to be connecting to our fake access point. Alrighty. Let's go ahead and connect our Wi-Fi adapter to this guy. All right, so in this case, we got our free Wi-Fi. It's broadcasting, so let's go ahead and connect. Now you can see on our honeypot here, we can see the Airbase NG output, which is we're seeing a client trying to associate to our free Wi-Fi. Okay, and so we went ahead and connected. So everything looks great. We're connected, and so at this point we can go ahead and fire up a browser. Okay. And so eventually we're going to start seeing some traffic. So this is all DNS traffic. This is all normal DNS traffic that you would see from a client, right? So I open up a browser window, and so I'm not really seeing much right now. So if I were to, let's say, go to yahoo.com, you would see that I'm actually getting hits. So the client is actually asking for yahoo.com, and it's getting back something. Okay? So let's go ahead and type in facebook.com. So in this case, I'm going to be serving up basically a fake website, right? So it doesn't look too fancy at this point because we've got, you know, a couple variables here. It's still going to HTTP, which is good, but really this is the Facebook that I've cloned. It's not really giving me all of the various aspects, but from here I can go ahead and type Greg, and then my password would be my password, okay, and log in. And you can see that it's trying to post to 10.0.0.1. So in this case, if I go ahead and browse to the directory var HTML, we actually have this harvester file right here. Okay. We open it up, and you can see that we're actually capturing credentials. So in this particular case, the DNS spoofing is really good for harvesting credentials. You could probably say as well, you could do some type of malware. Like I could set up a website that a person potentially could be thinking he's downloading a file from a particular website, but in fact, I've already served up a bad file, a malicious file. Okay. So we've got our site here, our fake site. So what do we look at from a Air Magnet Enterprise? We just released a brand new dynamic threat update signature, wireless man in the middle, to detect this type of attack. So you can see we've went ahead and we found the actual source device. We can tell you what SSID, what channel it's on, what domains were actually being used for this. So it's actually a fairly comprehensive detection signature that was just released actually in November of 2015. So this is brand new. We're able to detect these types of wireless attacks. All right, thanks for watching.